Don't settle for bad socks. Get comfort and grip at an affordable price with Pure Grip Socks Pro. Choose from 18 different colors at puregripsocks.com.
Looking to buy some new football boots right now? Here are my picks for the top 5 football boots currently available as of spring 2024. All of which, by the way, you can pick up below their normal retail prices by way of some exclusive SR4U coupon codes via the links down below. With all of these picks being based on fit, comfort, feel, quality, as well as overall performance, keeping in mind that the order doesn't really matter just based on the wide variety of styles that are featured within this top 5. Like I've mentioned so many times on this channel before, you have to pick a pair of football boots based on your own personal preferences. Just because somebody says something is number one doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the best for you. If you enjoy the content, perhaps want to see more top 5 videos, don't forget to drop a like on this one and make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you haven't already so you don't miss out on my reviews of all the latest football boots of 2024. With that in mind, let's get this list started with 2 honorable mentions because it wouldn't be right to not talk about these 2 amazing boots. The Adidas X Crazy Fast Plus. Simply put, if you're after something that's going to have the lightest possible feel on your feet, look no further than this boot right here. It's the lightest on the market by quite a significant margin, and for those that were fans of the early days of the F50 Adizero, super thin, super light, effectively weightless on your feet, this is pretty much as close to that as we've been basically in the last 14 years, but way more comfortable than any of those early F50s were. The New Balance Tekela V4 Plus Pro Low, a super well-rounded and underrated pair of football boots with a fully knitted one-piece upper with the laces being pushed slightly to the medial side that feels like a pair of comfortable socks on your feet and actually reminds me a lot of the OG Nike Magista Obra, but again, more comfortable than those football boots ever were. They're available in regular as well as wide fit, making them a great option for just about any foot type, and they feature one of the most unique stud patterns on the market with these little bladed studs running along the edges of the sole plate for added grip when you're on the edges of your feet. Not to mention at $215 full retail, and you can regularly find them on sale because they're not the most popular. It's arguably one of the best value for money options when you're talking about top-end football boots. Whether it's a Superfly or a Vapor, you cannot go wrong with the current generation of Nike Mercurial. The Vaporposit Plus upper gives you that raw barefoot sensation and that super pingy feel on the ball, while also having good structure, making this still one of, if not the most responsive feeling football boots on the market, where they feel like a second skin. The second you react is the second the boots react. They feature some of the most aggressive traction you're going to find on the market, the super unique feature of the zoom unit underneath your forefoot, really giving this more of a comfortable feel than I think a lot of people would expect from what is still one of the lightest football boots on the market. Low cut if you prefer that, go for the Vapor. Mid cut if you prefer that, go for the Superfly. Other than that, not really much of a difference. And while a new Mercurial is likely around the corner, you will not be disappointed with what these have on offer in terms of performance as of right now. The made in Japan Mizuno Morelia Neo 4, both the beta and non-beta variations, are pretty much as good as it gets when it comes to leather football boots that also fall into the speed category. What's so great about the Morelia Neo is just the unique set of features that you get in a pair of football boots at this point in 2024, where leather boots are kind of going away, especially from the more mainstream brands. What you get here is the highest quality kangaroo leather you can find in the industry right now, running through the forefoot, which gives you that great touch on the ball, but also incredible comfort from a football boot that still has that modern tight speed boot wrap, but also remains remarkably comfortable. The made in Japan Mizuno build quality is second to none, and the use of conical studs on this lightweight sole plate really sets this apart from other options. If you prefer more of that one-piece feel and aesthetic, the beta is definitely the way to go, where if you're like me and you prefer a little bit more of a traditional feel, the the standalone tongue and U-throat construction of the non-beta variation might be exactly what you're looking for. While I know there are still plenty of people that aren't in love with some of the changes Nike made to the latest Phantom line, the GX2 in low-cut form and the Luna 2 in mid-cut form are undeniably still fantastic football boots, with really the main feature that makes these stand out from the crowd being the Nike Grip Knit upper, basically a yarn or a fly knit type material, but with a grippy texture within the yarn itself, giving you tons of additional grip on the ball without the added bulk and without making the upper feel stiff in any way whatsoever. This is basically like wearing a sticky pair of socks, and that added grip is super noticeable. Not to say that it's going to enhance your control for the ball, but having that added grip, if that's something that you like, will definitely feel very helpful and very useful, and definitely makes these stand out compared to basically everything else on the market. They're also very comfortable football boots. They have a lightweight design that puts them pretty much in the same weight range as some of the most popular speed boots right now, and the stud pattern and sole plate, while again not everyone's favorite, does ultimately still perform very well, especially if you're looking for something with aggressive traction. The Adidas Copa Pure 2 Plus is probably the one football boot on this list that most people wouldn't expect to see, and that's mainly down to the fact that it gets almost no marketing attention from the Adidas brand. But I think the best way to describe this football boot is it's the perfect blending of classic and modern features all in one, where you get that super soft calfskin leather in the forefoot that transitions pretty well seamlessly into this more kind of knitted synthetic material through the midfoot. You get that one-piece enclosure. The shaping of the boot is very modern and slim and wraps your foot almost perfectly. They're remarkably comfortable and just feel so natural on feet, where the torsion frame originally introduced on the Adidas Nemesis provides a solid feel underfoot with more aggressive traction than I think a lot of people would expect. If you love leather boots, but you also love knitted boots, and you kind of want the perfect hybrid of those two features in one, I'm not sure that it's ever been done better than the Copa Pure 2 Plus. It's the most hyped up football boot in quite some time, and rightfully so. The Adidas Predator 24 Elite, whether it's the regular variation without the fold over tongue or the Plus FT variation with the tongue and strap, giving it that old school Predator look, you cannot go wrong with either of these. And realistically, the tongue model, because it's caught the attention of resellers, it has become a little bit difficult to get a hold of. It is obviously the more desirable variation, but in terms of feel and performance, there's absolutely no difference between these two. And considering you don't have to pay the premium for the regular variation because they are available at retail, it's probably the way to go for a lot of people. And having less bulk across the top of the foot, I think a lot of people might actually prefer, despite the visual differences. The Hybrid Touch 2.0 upper feels great in terms of giving you somewhat of a leather-like sensation without being overly thin like most of the other football boots on this list. The rubber striking elements give you that old school power boot feel and tons of additional grip, particularly when curling the ball, which is something that I absolutely love. They have a solid but comfortable feel on feet, and the sole plate and stud pattern is top notch. There's a reason why there's so much hype around these. They're just that good.